Hey, tea sippers. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, I'm trying to find my remote. Oh. Hey, tea sippers. How is your day after Christmas? How is your day after Christmas? What in the world have I ran up on? What did I run up on today, huh? What did I run up on today? Dang it, ain't none of these gonna show. Why do we have a redacted, a whole redacted picture of Trump and a little black girl? Got to be more careful. Oh my God. Why is his hands around her little neck? When was this? I need a date. I need some info because y'all know AunTeaFee went in. I went in looking. I went in looking. Huh? Who is this baby girl with his hand around her neck? Huh? And why was it redacted? Because she's a victim. Got to be more careful. Got to be more careful. Got to be more careful. Photo was removed from the Epstein files. Did y'all see this? Did y'all know this? This baby girl. Why is his hand around her throat? Why is this little girl at a party with all these grown folks? Who is this little girl? And why is his hand by her throat? Y'all know that caught my attention, right? And then I started saying, okay, 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 AunTeaFee. What in the world is going on, AunTeaFee? Who is this little baby girl? So then I started digging. Who missing? Who was missing? Little black girl. Then I started doing some research, y'all. Come on in. Come on in, hitting the like button, baby. Come on in, hitting the like button. Come on in, hitting the like button. So then I started trying to find a little missing black girl with some similar situations. Similar situation. Yes, she is a cute. Hey, Janet. Yes, she is a cute little girl. Sacred Jade. Hey, Miss Tom. Hey, Dorothy. So then I started trying to do a little research. Now, I ain't saying this is her, but I ain't saying it ain't her either. I ain't saying this is her, but I ain't saying it ain't her. Oh, it's a lot of reasons why Trump didn't want them documents coming out. He all up in there. And the funny thing about it is that he thought this shit was redacted. He thought he wasn't going to be in there because he snitched on Epstein. Looked like the girl that was missing from a home. That's her. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where we finna go. That's exactly where I'm finna go. Cause folk done, missing from a shelter. The people, the suspects, they done came one unalive themselves. The family came up unalive. I'm like, he unalived himself. Who? So here we go again. Here we go again. Somebody done unalive themselves. Yeah, other family members done came up unalive. It's like everybody to come in contact with something similar or familiar, somebody unalive themselves. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? They unalive themselves. So y'all, let's get ready. I don't know who all I know is there's some similarities.
On this episode of Black Girl Gone, I tell the story of Relisha.
You understand? There are some similarities in some of the people who took this child. A janitor missing, sound like somebody done sold her.
Shelter give us some place to stay.
Relisha Rudd was just 8 years old when she vanished, but her story is far from
Now
ordinary.
that we know how they doing all of this human trafficking and stuff.
The DC General Homeless Shelter, a grim building sitting.
Now that we know how they doing what they doing, and now we know we gotta listen with our good ear. We gotta listen to patterns. You understand? We gotta listen to the patterns. We understand trafficking in DC. Okay? Let me get set up. Y'all please come in, hitting the like button. Now I know if y'all know, listen, I ain't trying to discriminate. But I ain't trying to act like I'm not finna go hard in the pay for the little brown skin, 50 Shades of Brown little baby girl. They never found her. She may be, yeah. Relisha, y'all ready? And why would they redact a picture of Donald Trump and the little black girl? And why the fuck is his hands around her throat? Or by her throat? Why? Let me see what they said on this redaction. Oh yeah, we need more. Why is his hands right there? Oh, so they're not saying nothing. Why is his hands right there, y'all? Can somebody explain? One, why was it redacted? And two, why is his hands by her throat like that? And this is how they had those other little girls that they was auctioning off for, do the kids come with the island and all type shit. Them little kids, them little girls was jumping up and down, all cute and happy, hair all done, pretty little dress on, while these perverted old ass men were looking at them, scoping them out. Oh, wow. I was thinking maybe it had a story. I was trying to find it. I was trying to find why this was redacted. Let's go.
Relisha. That's a nice name. The shelter give us some place to stay.
Relisha Rudd was just 8 years old when she vanished, but her story is far from ordinary. It begins in a place no child should ever have to call home. The DC General Homeless Shelter, a grim building sitting next to a morgue and a methadone clinic.
Jay. That's a nice name. The shelter give us some place to stay.
Relisha Rudd was just 8 years old when she vanished, but her story is far from ordinary. It begins in a place no child should ever have to call home. The DC General Homeless Shelter, a grim building sitting next to a morgue and a methadone clinic. A place surrounded by hardship and heartache. Imagine an adorable little girl who should be safe, who should have a bed, a school to attend, and laughter ringing through the halls. But instead, her life was marked by constant instability and fear. Relisha's reality was anything but bright. The shelter where she lived with her mother and 3 younger brothers was more than just a temporary stop. It was a world filled with struggle and invisible dangers. Shamika Young, Relisha's mother, was anything but bright. The shelter where she lived with her mother and 3 younger brothers was more than just a temporary stop. It was a world filled with struggle and invisible dangers. Shamika Young, Relisha's mother, often described her daughter as a ray of sunshine in the darkest of places. She could light up a room, Shamika would say, speaking of a child who was loving, kind-hearted, and full of spirit despite everything stacked against her. But even with that light inside her, Relisha's life was shadowed by neglect, fear, and secrets. Secrets that would soon unravel into one of Washington, D.C.'s most haunting mysteries. D.C. General was no ordinary homeless shelter. It was a towering impersonal structure, a maze of cramped rooms and echoing hallways where thousands of families cycled through in search of safety. But safety was often elusive. The shelter sat right next to a morgue, a daily reminder of death, and a methadone clinic, a symbol of addiction and pain. Inside those walls, Relisha and her family tried to carve out a semblance of normalcy. But the building itself was a symbol of despair, where families lived shoulder to shoulder, privacy was scarce, and danger was never far away. Neighbors in the shelter whispered stories of violence and drug abuse. Children who were supposed to be playing outside were instead drawn into the shadows. It was a place that many called the
Lord,
Trap House, a
Lord,
nickname that reflected the desperate cycle of
Lord, into the shadows.
shoulder, privacy
Oh, I'm on this thing.
was scarce, and danger was never far away. Neighbors in the shelter whispered stories of violence and drug abuse. Children who were supposed to be playing outside were instead drawn into the shadows. It was a place that many called the Trap House, a nickname that reflected the desperate cycle of poverty and crime that gripped the community. Relisha, like so many children growing up there, learned to navigate this harsh world with a mix of innocence and resilience. At school, she was bright and creative, often drawing pictures that said, "I love my mom." But even there, the signs of neglect showed. Sometimes she arrived at school unwashed, wearing clothes that had clearly seen better days.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't know what I just did. Hold on. Y'all, please hit the like button. I'm knocking over stuff. Just, why is this man hands around this little girl's neck? Double tap the face of your phone or hit the 3 dots at the top right. Hi, Jesse.
Said, "I love my mom." But even there, the signs of neglect showed. Sometimes she arrived at school unwashed, wearing clothes that had clearly seen better days. Teachers noticed. Social workers intervened. Protective services had already looked into the family when Relisha was just a toddler. But the cracks in the system were wide, and despite these warnings, nothing was done to protect her in time. Relisha's school life and the hidden fears. Relisha's school was supposed to be a sanctuary, a place to learn, to play, to grow. But even here, she struggled. To avoid going back to the shelter, she told teachers she was sick. She begged to stay late or to stay with relatives. She made up illnesses
Who?
to grow. But even here, she struggled. To avoid going back to the shelter, she told teachers she was sick. She begged to stay late or to stay with relatives. She made up illnesses to stay away from the only home she knew. One of the school's aftercare programs became her lifeline. Run by volunteers who loved having her there, it was one of the few
Hey,
places where
mysterious
Relisha
eyes.
felt safe, even for a short time. Program director Jamila Larson remembers her fondly. She was a joy to be around. Always smiling, always curious. We loved having her. But then one day, Relisha stopped showing up. For
Thank
2,
you.
maybe 3 weeks, no one knew where she was or who she was with. School officials were left with unanswered questions and rising concern. Calls were made excusing her absence, claiming she was ill and under the care of a Dr. Tatum. A meeting was arranged to discuss Relisha's absences and her health. But when school officials went to meet Dr. Tatum at the shelter, no one showed up. It was then they discovered a terrifying truth. Dr. Tatum didn't exist. The only Tatum at the shelter was Khalil Tatum, the janitor, a man with a history as dark as the shelter's hallways. Arrested multiple times for burglary and other crimes, a man who had spent years in prison. Yet somehow he was trusted by the shelter residents. The family even called him Relisha's godfather. He bought her gifts, took
Ow.
her to the movies, to the mall, even to sleepovers. Shamika Young, Relisha's mother, says she felt comfortable around Khalil Tatum. All the kids liked him, she told police. All the adults liked him. But as Relisha disappeared, the trust began to unravel. Police found chilling surveillance footage from a local Holiday Inn around the time Relisha first stopped going to school. In it, Khalil Tatum is seen walking down a hotel hallway with Relisha close behind him. They disappear into a hotel room. No footage shows her leaving. That video would become one of the most haunting pieces of evidence in the case. What happened behind that door? Did someone see Relisha leave? Was she taken? Days later, police discovered another disturbing fact. Khalil Tatum had checked into the hotel, bought large trash bags, an ominous detail that raised more questions than answers. As the investigation deepened,
When did
more
he take
secrets
some
surfaced.
trash out?
Shamika accused her own mother, Relisha's grandmother, of deceiving school officials with fake doctor's notes, blaming Shamika for allowing Relisha to spend so much time with Khalil Tatum. The family feud grew bitter, and police struggled to
Thank you,
separate fact from
Janet.
finger pointing. All the while,
Wouldn't take
Relisha's
a
fate
poly.
remained a mystery. Shockingly, just one day after police began searching for Relisha and Khalil Tatum, another tragedy struck. Khalil's wife, Andrea Tatum, was found dead in a Maryland hotel room, shot in the head. Surveillance footage showed the couple entering the hotel the night before. Khalil Tatum became a suspect in possible abduction and murder. 11 days later, Khalil was found dead. Khalil Tatum. The family feud grew bitter, and police struggled to separate fact from finger pointing. All the while, Relisha's fate remained a mystery. Shockingly, just one day after police began searching for Relisha and Khalil Tatum, another tragedy struck. Khalil's wife, Andrea Tatum, was found dead in a Maryland hotel room, shot in the head. Surveillance footage showed the couple entering the hotel the night before. Khalil Tatum became a suspect in possible abduction and murder. 11 days later, Khalil was found dead, a single gunshot wound to the head, in a shed in a D.C. park. Police ruled it a suicide. The gun used to kill Andrea was the same one that ended Khalil's life. With
A
Khalil dead
shed.
and Andrea murdered, answers vanished along with them.
So he was
Investigators
found in the
conducted
shed.
exhaustive
Where did they
tests.
live?
Deepened, more secrets surfaced. Shamika accused her own mother, Relisha's grandmother, of deceiving school officials with fake doctor's notes, blaming Shamika for allowing Relisha to spend so much time with Khalil Tatum. The family feud grew bitter, and police struggled to separate fact from finger pointing. The family feud grew bitter of deceiving school officials with fake doctor's notes, blaming Shamika for allowing Relisha to spend so much time with Khalil Tatum.
I need for y'all to get the likes up, please. Double tap the face of your screen. Double tap. What's Chicago? Double tap the face of your screen. Why is his hands around this baby's neck? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Did they have a house? Why they? Why?
Than answers. As the investigation deepened, more secrets surfaced. Shamika accused her own mother, Relisha's grandmother, of deceiving school officials with fake doctor's notes, blaming Shamika for allowing Relisha to spend so much time with Khalil Tatum. The family feud grew bitter, and police struggled to separate fact from finger pointing. All the while, Relisha's fate remained a mystery. Shockingly, just one day after police began searching for Relisha and Khalil Tatum, another tragedy struck. Khalil's wife, Andrea Tatum, was found dead in a Maryland hotel room, shot in the head. Surveillance footage showed the couple entering the hotel the night before. Khalil Tatum became a suspect in possible abduction and murder. 11 days later, Khalil was found dead, a single gunshot wound to the head, in a shed in a D.C. park. Police ruled it a suicide.
A shed
The
in a
gun used to kill
D.C.
Andrea was
park.
the same one that ended Khalil's life. With Khalil dead and Andrea murdered, answers vanished along with them. Investigators conducted exhaustive searches but found no trace of Relisha.
Hey,
There was
Specs.
speculation that Khalil took secrets about Relisha's fate to the grave. Adding to the fear, authorities linked another missing girl from the same shelter, a 14-year-old trafficked to Los Angeles, raising chilling questions about child trafficking rings targeting vulnerable children. Within days of Relisha's last known sighting, the search was underway, but the clock was ticking against investigators. There was speculation that Khalil took secrets about Relisha's fate to the grave. Adding to the fear, authorities linked another missing girl from the same shelter, a 14-year-old trafficked to Los Angeles, raising chilling questions
Trafficking. So
about child trafficking
trafficking
rings.
out of that shelter, trafficking was an issue. Child trafficking was an issue. So here we go. A predator allegedly unalived himself. Here we go again. And then his wife was unalived. Trafficking was a problem out of this shelter.
Adding to the fear, authorities linked another missing girl from the same shelter, a 14-year-old trafficked to Los Angeles, raising chilling questions about child trafficking rings targeting vulnerable children. Within days of Relisha's last known sighting, the search was underway, but the clock was ticking against investigators. Relisha had last been seen on surveillance footage walking in a hotel room with Khalil Tatum, a janitor at the homeless shelter where her family lived. What seemed like a trusted figure soon became the focal point of a criminal investigation. Despite the urgency, law enforcement faced an uphill battle. Reports revealed that Relisha had not been officially reported missing for weeks. The delay was a critical error that would haunt the investigation. When a child disappears, the first 24 to 72 hours are often the most crucial for recovery. But in Relisha's case, these precious hours slipped away in silence. The media spotlight focused on the unanswered questions. How did a child disappear from a crowded homeless shelter? Why was she not reported missing sooner? And what was the true role of Khalil Tatum? Families and advocates demanded accountability. Protests and vigils were held, keeping Relisha's case in the national conversation. Yet amid the outcry, answers remained elusive. Investigators chased every lead. One theory considered that Relisha may have run away, but this was quickly dismissed given her age and circumstances. Another darker possibility loomed, that she had been abducted and potentially trafficked. Washington, D.C. had a documented problem with child trafficking, particularly among vulnerable populations. The recent case of a 14-year-old girl from the same shelter found trafficked in Los Angeles fueled fears. Experts warn that traffickers exploit poverty and homelessness, using charm and manipulation to lure victims. The search extended beyond.
Charm and manipulation. Oh my God.
Quickly dismissed given her age and circumstances. Another darker possibility loomed, that she had been abducted and potentially trafficked. Washington, D.C. had a documented problem with child trafficking, particularly among vulnerable populations. The recent
Florida.
case of a 14-year-old girl from the same shelter found trafficked in Los Angeles fueled fears. A 14-year-old girl from the same shelter found trafficked in Los Angeles fueled fears. Experts warn that traffickers exploit poverty and homelessness, using charm and manipulation to lure victims. The search extended beyond Washington. Federal agencies joined the investigation, coordinating efforts with local police. Traffic cameras, hotel
Yep.
surveillance, and witness interviews became crucial.
I
Authorities
agree,
canvassed
Spec.
motels, bus stations, and other possible locations. Despite the wide.
Why you said hit different, Spec? Tell me why you think it hit. Why you said hit different? Cause she 50. Cause she brown. Y'all double tap and hit the like button. I mean, and I mean, I can't remember what it was that we was watching or listening to, and it was talking about how like social workers and places that are supposed to help the families be trafficking. They got people that work in shelters. Uh, Families will sell their own kids. I think we was talking about the young girl who the nanny's husband was trafficking them first. I think it was in Russia, and then once the mama found out, then she started taking them to the elite herself, and because it's also in DC where a lot of poor baby, yeah. Now that we know how they operate, I have to factor in how that it does. It say black people don't traffic, yeah, but they are trafficking and selling for the money most of the time. Because if they come up missing, hey Brian, and thanks everybody for the Christmas love, supports, and cash apps. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate the everyone who has been looking out for AunTeaFee. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And it's just the patterns. It's just the patterns, especially when I heard the suspect, the predator, the groomer. Let me say the groomer unalived himself. How many times have we heard that? And his wife was ill. And then we see Trump with a little brown skinned baby with his hands around her throat, well, her back of her neck. And that information was removed from the Epstein files. Why? Why was it removed from the Epstein files? Why? Huh? Who is she and why was she there? Okay, Janet. I don't know anything about that just yet, so hold off. If you want to talk to me about it on the back end before you position that to the tea sippers, I would greatly appreciate it. Why is he holding her neck? Exactly, my blood. What is that? Blood members. I don't know what that is. Double tap the face of your screen if you're listening in on your phone device. Double tap. Get the likes up. What the hell? Exactly. Why was baby girl removed from the Epstein file? And why is his hands around the back of her neck? And why does this baby girl look like them other little girls on the other end of the 50 Shades of Brown that was all excited, jumping up and down? We don't know. She was removed from the Epstein files. Why? And this shelter already had a situation with trafficking kids. I have a theory why she was removed. What's your theory, Mrs. Tom? Please take this as I mean it. Oh no, I ain't playing either. I ain't playing. Yeah. That's why we here today. Cause I ain't playing. I ain't playing either. That's why we don't have all them trolls in here. Them bots or whatever they are. Cause I'm not playing. One, she there. And it don't look like there are any other brown skinned people there. Two, your hands around the back of her neck. Three, why was it removed? Was this a part of the million documents that was found?
Possibility loomed that she had been abducted and potentially trafficked. Washington, D.C. had a documented problem with child trafficking,
A
particularly among
document.
vulnerable populations. The recent case of a 14-year-old girl from the same shelter found trafficked in Los Angeles fueled fears. Experts warn that traffickers exploit poverty and homelessness, using charm and manipulation to lure victims. The search extended beyond Washington. Federal agencies joined the investigation, coordinating efforts with local police. Traffic cameras,
They still
hotel
hadn't found
surveillance,
her.
and witness interviews became crucial. Authorities canvassed motels, bus stations, and other possible locations. Despite the wide net cast, no sign of Relisha surfaced. 11 days after his wife's murder, Khalil Tatum was found dead in a shed inside a D.C. park. He had suffered a single gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. The gun used to kill himself was identified as the same weapon used in his wife's murder. His death closed a
That
chapter,
picture
but left
looked
countless
like
questions unanswered.
this is one he selected. I agree, B. Rich. This picture looks like this is the one I want. Let me go back. I agree. This picture looks like this is the one I chose. I'm choosing. Yeah, I agree, B. Rich. That's what this looks like to me. I want this one. Y'all, I need for y'all to double tap the face of the phone if you're listening in on your phone device. Remember, the milk carton had a picture of missing kids back in the day. Yep. Why were those? Why were the pictures always poorly pixelated so you couldn't really be identified? Hey, Big L's. Hey. I hope your Christmas was well, too. I wish the picture was her turned around.
Coordinating efforts with local police. Traffic cameras, hotel surveillance, and witness interviews became crucial. Authorities canvassed motels, bus stations, and other possible locations. Despite the wide net cast, no sign of Relisha surfaced. 11 days after his wife's
What
murder,
is this hard
Khalil
hat?
Tatum was found dead in a
Is
shed.
that a motorcycle hat? They better not say he was once in the military. They better not say nothing about a cartel. They better not say that they better not say military, ROTC, none of that. None of that. But what type of helmet is this back in the day? Is this a construction if he
Inside a DC park. He had suffered a single gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. Coordinating efforts with local police. Traffic cameras, hotel surveillance, and witness interviews became crucial. Authorities canvassed motels, bus stations, and other possible locations. Despite the wide net cast, no sign of Relisha surfaced. 11 days after his wife's murder, Khalil Tatum was found dead in a shed inside a
sharp
DC
butts?
park. He had
Look like a
suffered a single
motorcycle helmet.
gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. The gun used to kill himself was identified as the same weapon used in his wife's murder. His death closed a chapter, but left countless questions unanswered. What secrets had Khalil taken to his grave? Did he know what happened to Relisha? With the primary suspect dead and no new leads, the investigation stalled. Relisha's family continued to endure unimaginable pain. Community members grappled with the unsettling possibility that the child might never be found. The authorities vowed to keep searching, but the trail had gone cold. As the news spread about Khalil Tatum's death, and with Andrea Tatum's murder still unsolved, the Washington, D.C. community was left shaken and searching for answers. The man who might have held the truth was now gone, taking his secrets with him. The hope of finding Relisha alive grew dimmer by the day. Detectives scoured the homeless shelter and surrounding neighborhoods. They interviewed residents, social workers, and anyone who had contact with Khalil or Relisha. But the trail was cold. The shelter itself, a grim place known for its overcrowding and lack of resources, became a symbol of the failures that let this tragedy happen. Residents spoke in hushed tones about the trap house, as Relisha had called it, a place that offered shelter but little safety. The environment was harsh, marked by despair, addiction, and neglect. This backdrop of hardship made the search even more urgent, but also more complicated. Many people were transient, moving in and out of the shelter, and some feared speaking out. Trust in authorities was fragile. Investigations revealed troubling gaps in the oversight of the shelter. Despite its role housing families with children, the facility struggled with understaffing, poor communication, and inadequate safety protocols. Khalil Tatum's presence there, with his criminal
Hi,
record and
Dante. Hi,
deceptive
Queen.
behavior, raised questions about how thoroughly staff vetting was conducted. How had he been allowed to develop a relationship with children like Relisha? Social workers assigned to monitor vulnerable families at the shelter were overwhelmed by caseloads, making consistent, attentive care difficult. Some experts argued that the system was simply not equipped to protect the most at-risk children. A cascade of missed warnings and miscommunications created a perfect storm for tragedy. Relisha's family was caught in a whirlwind of grief and public scrutiny. Her mother, Shamika Young, faced questions and criticism over her relationship with Khalil Tatum and the circumstances that allowed Relisha to be with him.
How
In
you
a
gonna
world watching
trust him
closely,
with your
the family's
child?
private pain became public drama. Shamika insisted she trusted Khalil as a family friend and godfather figure, unaware of the dangers lurking beneath the surface. Tensions flared between.
How you gonna trust this man as a family member and friend? Huh? From a homeless shelter? Now he a family and friends? He on the church roster, friends and family day, friends and family. No. You sold your daughter. What's going on, man?
And Godfather
How
figure.
how was she able to be with him at a hotel, a Holiday Inn? Picking strangers over your
Unaware of the
kids.
dangers lurking beneath the surface. Tensions flared between family members, with accusations flying about forged doctor's notes and excuses for Relisha's absences at school. The family's fractured
Oh, they
dynamics
sell
played out
them.
in the
Folks
media,
sell their kids. She
complicating
had
the search
4.
and investigation. Relisha's disappearance became a national story, dominating headlines and evening news broadcasts. Vigils were held, candles lit, and posters plastered around the city calling for her safe return. Activists and child advocates used the case to highlight
I know that's what they said. That's what predators do.
and the vulnerabilities of
That's what
children in
predators do.
unstable environments. Pressure mounted on law enforcement to solve the case quickly. Yet
I believe that, Be Rich.
leads remained sparse and elusive. As days turned into weeks, investigators faced chilling
Recruiters.
possibilities. Was Relisha a victim of child
Now,
trafficking?
listen. I don't want to talk about what's already been said, what's already been presented. I'm not looking at it like that. No disrespect. I'm not going to erase what I have recently found out how they operate. So the girl been gone for 20-something years. So that simple way of thinking ain't gonna work for me. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but that simple thinking shit ain't gonna work when they have a whole larger operation of organized crime elites that come to the hood, just like they dropped off the drugs, dropped off the guns. They solicit a desperate ass people to recruit kids. I know how they operate now. So don't come to me talking and commenting like we haven't learned how they move and maneuver since then. Elevate, move up to the shit that we didn't know was going on. That's why it wasn't ever solved. So don't come at me with that Simple Simon ass shit. I'm not playing. I'm serious. I'm serious. They always using other people to do their dirty work. And here we are all this time thinking that, it's just the nasty ass old black men, white Hispanics and all. And the whole time behind the scenes, these elite politicals is got these runners out there like they running drugs and they running kids, snatching kids for them. So fuck me with that Simple Simon ass shit. Respectfully. That is not how I'm thinking. I'm thinking how they thinking. I'm connecting dots to this elite shit. And if that ain't the page you on, you might want to go ahead and leave. Because I'm not trying to be rude and disrespectful. I'm thinking how they was thinking. That was way over our heads. But I see him now, and I ain't gonna play dumb. She was never found. There's a good possibility this child, as an adult, she done been groomed and pimped and prostituted the whole time. Until they find her. Did somebody see him walk out the hotel with those black bags? And I'm sorry, To the mamas. I'm not giving no leeway for them either. I don't care how many kids you have. If you got that many, you should have stopped at 2 if you knew you couldn't handle 1. And there are some trifling mothers out there who have pimped and sold their kids. Trust me, I know.
Pressure mounted on law enforcement to solve the case quickly. Yet despite the spotlight, leads remain sparse and elusive. As days turned into weeks, investigators faced chilling possibilities. Was Relisha a victim of child trafficking? Reports surfaced about the rampant trafficking networks operating in major cities, exploiting homeless and vulnerable children. A 14-year-old girl from the same shelter had recently been found trafficked in Los Angeles, a case hauntingly similar to Relisha's.
You right, Miss Tom. She wouldn't even know who she is
traffickers
anymore.
often work within the shadows of poverty and neglect, preying on children desperate for safety and affection.
She wouldn't even know who
Some
she
feared Relisha
was.
had been sold into this dangerous world. Others speculated that she might still be alive, hidden or forced into silence. The unknown hung heavy in the air.
Especially if somebody's standing over you with their hand around the back of your dang neck. I'm not saying this is her. I'm saying this is the reason why we're here today. Because this little girl right here was in there with these predators being auctioned and sold. I ain't finna sugarcoat shit. That's what they was doing. And he got his hand around the back of her neck. And then on top of that, they removed it. Why would they remove it? Because she's a victim. They were only redacting victims, right? They didn't just black her face so her face couldn't be seen. They removed it. They removed this picture out of the Epstein file. They didn't just black the face. They removed it altogether. All the other kids, they blacked the face. They blacked Diana Ross's son, Michael Jackson's kids. Why did they remove this picture from the Epstein file? Oh, because he was with Donald Trump. Because she was with Donald Trump. Is that why? But she's a victim. That's all supposed to be redacted are victims. So this baby girl right here is or was a victim. And if I thought we had problems before, we definitely got them now.
Quickly. Yet despite the spotlight, leads remain sparse and elusive. As days turned into weeks, investigators faced chilling possibilities. Was Relisha a victim of child trafficking? Reports surfaced about the rampant trafficking networks operating in major cities, exploiting homeless and vulnerable children. A 14-year-old girl from the same shelter had recently been found trafficked in Los Angeles, a case hauntingly similar to Relisha's. Experts warn that traffickers often work within the shadows of poverty and neglect, preying on children desperate for safety and affection. Some feared Relisha had been sold into this dangerous world. Others speculated that she might still be alive, hidden or forced into silence. The unknown hung heavy in the air. Despite the despair, hope endured. Families, advocates, and investigators refused to give up. The FBI joined the search, offering a reward for information leading to Relisha's safe return. New leads were followed, tip lines monitored, and outreach to trafficking prevention organizations increased. Community groups organized awareness
No, no
campaigns,
reason at all.
educating the public on signs of trafficking and encouraging vigilance. Each day, the question lingered, where is Relisha Rudd? The case remains a haunting reminder of how fragile safety can be for children living in the shadows. Relisha's story echoes the struggles of countless children caught between neglect, poverty, and danger. Her disappearance challenges society to confront on signs of trafficking and encouraging vigilance. Each day, the question lingered, where is Relisha Rudd? The case remains a haunting reminder of how fragile safety can be for children living in the shadows. Relisha's story echoes the struggles of
I don't know if she looks exactly like her, but she looks very similar. Very similar.
countless children caught between neglect, poverty, and danger. Her disappearance challenges society to confront uncomfortable truths about the systems meant to protect its most vulnerable. It calls for reflection, reform, and relentless pursuit of justice. And above all, it is a plea to never forget the little girl who vanished and the family still waiting for answers.
She vanished because her mama trusted her with a damn janitor at a shelter. Good night, Mrs. Tom. Yeah, if y'all know y'all can't handle it, go ahead, because this is what this live is going to be about. Respectfully. Yeah, because this picture shouldn't have popped up with his hand around this little girl, back of her neck. And when I look at her hair, and I look at her eyebrows, when I look at this, and I think about them blow drying it and straightening her hair, that could still be her. I don't know if it is or not, but it could be. Y'all know how our hair do once we put heat to it. This is just sad on so many levels. I ain't gonna even lie.
Pursuit of justice. And above all, it is a plea to never forget the little girl who vanished and the family still waiting for answers. Was she a victim of trafficking? Or is there more
Yeah,
to this story than anyone knows?
yeah. Cause if
Drop your thoughts.
when did she walk out? How did she leave? What floor was they on? Was they on the first floor where somebody could have got it from the window? I mean, if he bought a whole bunch of bags, when did he bring bags out of the room? You know, where is that? Where is that tape?
In the comments. Do you think the system failed her? Or was it
Absolutely.
something even darker?
Yeah, she was
Make
trafficked.
sure
She
to
was trafficked. Yeah, that's what happened. She was trafficked. But did her mama? Who trafficked her though?
The mystery only seems to deepen. Relisha Rudd was seen with Khalil Tatum. Relisha Rudd. The mystery only seems to deepen. Relisha Rudd was seen with Khalil Tatum. Relisha Rudd has still not been found.
I just been thinking about my daughter, where she could possibly be at.
Where do you think Relisha is right now?
Why is the volume so
Don't
low?
ask that.
You think Relisha's alive?
Yeah,
Why do you think that?
She believes she alive.
she loved the dad.
She what? Why she talk? She has a what? She said she believes she's still alive, and and said why and what she say? She has a what? Where's the volume? Yeah, I'm not digging the mama. Lord. Mm-mm.
I just been thinking about my daughter, where she could possibly be at.
Where do you think Relisha is right now?
I honestly can't answer that.
Do you think Relisha's alive?
Yeah,
Why do you think that?
she loved to dance.
She love her what?
She had a mouthful
She love her dad.
With that.
She loved to dance.
You say she's still alive cause she loves to dance.
She had a mouth on her. Her mouth was sassy, but not too sassy.
She had a
Your
sassy
daughter
mouth.
drew lots of pictures.
Lord.
Where she could possibly be at.
Where do you think Relisha is right now?
I honestly can't answer that.
Do you think Relisha's alive?
Yeah,
Why do you think that?
she loved to dance. She had a mouth on her. Her mouth was sassy, but not too sassy.
Your daughter drew lots of pictures as you can see, but Relisha did this.
She says, I love my mom. It's a lot going on as far as missing Relisha.
The Relisha I live you.
People are asking the question, who failed Relisha? Who do you think failed Relisha?
I can see. Where's your integrity? Do you have integrity? Y'all, she moving like she
The
know.
Relisha I
Oh wow.
live you.
People are asking the question, who failed Relisha? Who do you think failed Relisha?
You failed her. You failed her. Did you sell her? You sold your daughter.
So what happened?
Did you sell your daughter? You failed her.
As far as missing Relisha.
The Relisha I live you.
People are asking the question, who failed Relisha? Who do you think failed Relisha?
Oh wow.
So what happened to Relisha
Oh
Rudd?
y'all. Oh my
And
God.
I'm Derek again. The 8-year-old girl was last seen March the 1st with Khalil Tatum, that janitor at the homeless shelter where she lived with her family.
Tatum was found dead in Kenilworth Park after taking his own life and any information he had about Relisha. We uncovered Tatum's criminal past before he was hired at the D.C. General Homeless Shelter, and now tonight, you're going to hear from Relisha's family, including her mother, all who say they trusted Khalil Tatum.
This. Ooh, I almost called her out her name. She's still having kids.
Bruce LeShan spoke with Chief Kathy Lanier.
Yeah, Janet, Derek, frustrating.
Found dead in Kenilworth Park after taking his own life and any information he had about Relisha. We uncovered Tatum's criminal past. So what happened to Relisha Rudd? Good evening. I'm Jan Jeffcoats.
And I'm Derek again. The 8-year-old girl was last seen March the 1st with Khalil Tatum, that janitor at the homeless shelter where she lived with her family.
Tatum was found dead in Kenilworth Park after taking his own life and any information he had about Relisha. We uncovered Tatum's criminal past before he was hired at the D.C. General Homeless Shelter, and now tonight, you're going to hear from Relisha's family, including her mother, all who say they trusted Khalil Tatum.
How you?
Now today, the police chief admitted that little girl may never, ever be found.
Bruce LeShan spoke with Chief Kathy
She'd
Lanier.
be traffic probably.
Yeah, Janet, Derek, frustrating, depressing, tragic. The chief says they will keep looking for Relisha, but the sad reality is that we missed by a wide mark those first 3 hours that are critical when it comes to saving an abducted child. Is it possible we may never find Relisha?
You know, I hate to say that. We're going to continue looking, but it is possible. It is possible.
Chief Kathy Lanier says tips continue to come in, about 5 a day. People who knew Relisha's suspected abductor, Khalil Tatum, people who know the area. But none so far have led to the 8-year-old who lived in a homeless shelter and was last seen alive more than 1 month ago.
What really hurt us was not even becoming aware of her being missing until almost 3 full weeks after the last time she was seen. That's a killer.
Also frustrating, fake tips and hoax Facebook sites, like this one of someone claiming to be Khalil Tatum and claiming Relisha is really his daughter.
Amy, are you that people would be creating jokes about this missing 8-year-old kid?
Well, I mean, fortunately, we realized right away that this is not real and that somebody is doing it as a hoax.
But the chief discounted public suspicions that the janitor at the shelter might have been involved in child porn or child sex trafficking.
That is not, and that somebody is doing it as a hoax.
But the chief
Is this not sounding familiar, y'all? That's all I'm saying. Lord have mercy.
public suspicions that the janitor at the shelter might have been involved in child porn or child sex trafficking.
That is not something that we believe that he was heavily involved in.
Chief Lanier not convinced Relisha was sold into sex trafficking, but tonight Andrea McCarran talks to other activists who fear she might have been.
If they're vulnerable, then they're at risk.
Relisha Rudd may be just 8 years old, but that's not too young for the world of sex trafficking.
There's kids as young as 5, 6, 7.
The average age of entry into this dark and devastating underworld is 13.
A child who's a victim of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation cannot go to school, is most likely not able to speak.
Undocumented.
They can't even go to the bathroom without getting permission. They're probably having sex with 5 to 10 men a night.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my
And it's
God.
happening here in the nation's capital, where wealth and power are next-door neighbors to poverty and despair.
And a trip to McDonald's could mean the world to a child like Relisha.
Like many child trafficking victims, she says Relisha was vulnerable. Khalil Tatum, a skilled child predator.
He really seemed to know what he was doing and how to lure a child. Buying gifts, making friends, even the trick of using another child to make Relisha feel safe and comfortable, very common tactic.
We got to keep looking because that child still could be alive out there.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is assisting in the ongoing search for the little girl with a sweet smile and a lifetime ahead of her.
There's been such intense pressure to find this child. You would think now, even if someone had this child, that they would be willing to return her.
He says child sex trafficking is a larger problem than many imagine because it's no longer in the open. It's moved from the street corner, in many cases, to the internet.
Possibility of child sex trafficking is a possibility, but I think it's just one of the many possibilities that could be out there.
Considering the grisly alternatives, it may be the best option.
I hope that sex trafficking is what's going on because that would mean that she has value to someone and they maybe wouldn't kill her.
Unfortunately, the man who
What?
unlocked this mystery took his secrets.
But I think it's just one of the many possibilities that could be out there.
Considering the grisly alternatives, it may be the best option.
I hope that sex trafficking is what's going on because that would
Oh,
mean
wow.
that she has value to someone and they maybe
Oh,
wouldn't
Lord.
kill her.
Unfortunately, the man who could unlock this mystery took his secrets to the grave. In Washington, D.C. alone, the trafficking of children is a $100 million industry. Nationwide, 300,000 children are forced into prostitution and pornography every year. Andrea McCarran, WUSA 9. We've got new information on how police handled Relisha's Amber Alerts.
Investigative reporter Russ Patofsky with the new document explaining just who the police told in those critical first hours.
We received a new timeline about 5 tonight from D.C.'s Deputy Mayor for Safety and Justice. It chronicles hour by hour, day by day, police broadcasting information to other states about D.C.'s Amber Alert, Rudd, but nowhere does it support the police department's original claim that Amber Alerts were issued anywhere but within district lines. A stark contrast
Flex
to
it.
a somber news conference March 27th.
Oh, please stop having these babies dancing and for these folks. Flex it.
Support the police department's original claim that Amber Alerts were issued anywhere but within district lines. A stark contrast to a somber news conference March 27th, when for the first time the police chief acknowledged the Amber Alert she had claimed was issued from Pennsylvania to Delaware down to Florida was actually just an exchange of information about
Oh,
the
wow.
Amber Alert activated only in D.C.
I only have the authority to issue in my own jurisdiction. But as soon as that Amber Alert is issued in the jurisdiction,
So they
we make a
failed.
request through emergency management that Amber Alert that we issue here in D.C. be pushed out through MNET, which is an emergency management network, across the country.
Just 3 days earlier, the chief denied our findings that outside D.C., there were no Relisha Amber Alerts.
That's not true. I actually looked into that when I got the allegation. The Amber Alert was issued as far north as Pennsylvania and Delaware and as far south as Florida.
If that had only been true, TV stations across the East Coast would have been broadcasting Relisha's disappearance. But our investigation found the Amber Alert was only activated in the District of Columbia. And last month, except for D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, where stories had aired, when we checked our Gannett sister stations and CBS affiliates from Delaware and Pennsylvania to Florida, none had a single story on Relisha Rudd, as they would had an Amber Alert actually been issued in their states. But that all changed March 27th. At our request, stations WUSA 9 contacted in every state agreed to run a story on Relisha Rudd. But that was 7 days after that DC-only Amber Alert was issued. The timeline issued tonight doesn't show dates. But that all changed March 27th. At our request, stations WUSA 9 contacted in every state agreed to run a story on Relisha Rudd. But that was 7 days after that DC-only Amber Alert was issued. The timeline issued tonight doesn't show police even notifying other states about Relisha until 2 days after the DC Amber Alert was found. It was several
Kids
days
may
later
have to sleep with up to 10 men a day.
Surveillance video of Tatum taking Relisha Rudd into a DC motel. The video is date marked February 26th. Shopping bags in the hands of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd as she walks down the motel room hallway with the now dead suspect, Khalil Tatum. Family members say on that day, Tatum took her shopping, saying she needed a swimsuit for what he told them would be a swim party at this Holiday Inn Express on Bladensburg Road.
A swim party, y'all. Oh my God. Ugh. 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 Took her shopping. So it's going to be a party of predators.
Hotel room hallway with the now dead suspect, Khalil Tatum. Family members say on that day, Tatum took her shopping, saying she needed a swimsuit for what he told them would be a swim party at this Holiday Inn Express on Bladensburg Road Northeast. A clerk says the motel does have an indoor pool. On that day, shortly before this surveillance video shows Khalil Tatum leading Relisha Rudd by the hand into that DC motel room, family members say he dropped by her aunt's home with Relisha. And when he found out she didn't have a swimsuit, he said he'd buy her one before going to that motel.
And as we mentioned, that was February 26th, just days before family members would lose track of who was taking care of Relisha.
And with her grandmother claims Tatum may have taken her to Atlanta. When was the last time you saw her?
Physically, the last time I saw her was when that video that was put on Instagram. That was filmed in here.
That was
Thank you, Janet.
Melissa Young says she called Tatum on March 12th to see if he could fix Relisha's tablet he bought for her.
I say, Mr. Tatum, have you talked to Relisha or do you have Relisha? His answer to me was no, we don't have her. So then he said, do you know where I am? And I'm like, yeah, you should be home getting ready to go out of town on your trip. This is when he was going to Atlanta, Georgia. So he was like, yeah, you're right, but I'm already in Atlanta, Georgia. He said, we're already in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm like, who? You, your wife, your daughter, and your granddaughter? That's when he says to me, no, me, my wife, Relisha, my granddaughter, and my daughter.
What were they doing?
He went on some type of, he told me it was a retreat. I don't know. But
A retreat.
He told me that it was a medical thing or something.
Young says before she hung up, she told Tatum to bring Relisha home by Sunday the 16th for a birthday party, and then immediately called her daughter Shamika.
I say, Shamika, did you know your daughter was out of town with Mr. Tatum and his friend? She says, when he asked me, can she go? I told him, no, don't take her. How do you know? I said, because I just called him
Tatum never showed up that Sunday with Relisha, but Young claims Tatum called her the very next morning.
Before he fled, he was like, I took Relisha to school, and I'm looking at the calendar. I know what day it is, and I know school is closed.
Great interview, Jan, and we are really trying so hard to understand and imagine how anyone would let you just take your child away.
It's so crazy, and as a mom to a little girl myself, it is just heartbreaking. So you might ask yourself, how long did the family and Relisha know Tatum, and why did they let him take her so many times? I'm a mom of a daughter. You have a daughter. You have a granddaughter.
I have 4 daughters.
So is it weird for you for like this man to be taking your granddaughter? I don't know did it make you feel uncomfortable that a man's taking your daughter somewhere?
It did, but then I looked at it because, like, me, myself, personally, I do the same thing. I take people's kids with me as well. I get permission from the crime.
Relisha Rudd and Khalil Tatum's relationship began in the D.C. General Homeless Shelter cafeteria.
So you take 4 kids
mother
too.
and grandmother. And to be taking your granddaughter? I don't know did it make you feel uncomfortable that a man's taking your daughter somewhere?
It did, but then I looked at it because, like, me, myself, personally, I do the same thing. I take people's kids with me as well. I get permission from the crime.
Relisha Rudd and Khalil Tatum's relationship began in the D.C. General Homeless Shelter cafeteria. Relisha's mother and grandmother say the 8-year-old and her siblings used to wake up and head to cafeteria for breakfast.
If the parents is not with the kids when they go into the cafeteria, they're not going to feed them because, you know, a lot of times for breakfast the food is hot. So I understand that route. But when Mr. Tatum saw that the kids wasn't getting breakfast, he took it upon himself to start feeding Shamika's 4 kids.
Melissa Young began to notice Tatum, the shelter janitor, hanging around Relisha. She asked her daughter Shamika who he was.
My daughter says, Mom, that's Mr. Tatum. You know, I say, but it's not going to look right for your daughter to go. She said, Mom, she go on to play with the granddaughter. It's fine. Every time my granddaughter comes back, she tell me, I had fun with Mr. Tatum's granddaughter. You know, I want to go back.
Melissa Young adds that all the attention Tatum was paying to Shamika's children was something the family had grown used to.
People just love Shamika. So it wasn't strange for us to see that somebody was doing something. People just love Shamika. So it wasn't strange for I want to go back.
Melissa Young adds that all the attention Tatum was paying to Shamika's children was something the family had grown used to.
People just love Shamika. So it wasn't strange for us to see that somebody was doing something, you know.
Was grooming her.
And the more Tatum did, the more the family trusted him.
I've been around this man. Like, if he...
So anytime folk do something for your kids,
He will pick me up and give me a ride. So I have been in this man's car by myself. I didn't get no uncomfortable feeling.
That's why she says they allowed Tatum to take Relisha, but she adds it was never supposed to be permanent.
Shamika never made no type of deals with him for her daughter.
how you know?
Exchanged her daughter.
How do you know?
She never sold her daughter to him.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen, for getting a membership and becoming official. I love that star by your name. Let me stop.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to Sweet Tea Sippers. I would greatly appreciate it. This is sad. So this is what I'm talking about. Always wanting something. All somebody got to do is buy your kids something, show them some attention or some affection, take them off your hands and shit, and then y'all be okay with that. Oh, he okay. He always buying us stuff. He picked me up. Yeah, grooming. Groomers start with the mama, grandmama, granddad. Always there, always helpful, always want to give a helping hand while they help themselves to your child. Hi, Connie. This is crazy to me. This is crazy.
And coming your way after the break, Jan's haunting conversation with Shamika Young, Relisha's mother. In the meantime, Relisha's story has moved us all, but we have to remember she's not the only victim. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says tens of thousands of kids have been taken by non-family members, including 8 who are 8 years old right now. Here are 3 of their photos. We're going to show you more of them later on in our broadcast.
They got a whole child trafficking ring.
Get it, Relisha. Get it, little mama.
We know her mostly from a grainy video her parents posted to Facebook.
I get it. I get it. I go.
And from the haunting stills snapped by volunteers at the Homeless Children's Playtime Project.
I just hope and pray every day.
When that little girl was
That she
dancing right here,
Haunting stills snapped by
she looked like she
volunteers
could be that
from a
girl.
grainy
get it, Relisha. Oh, mama.
We know her mostly from a grainy video her parents posted to Facebook.
I get it. I get it. I go.
And from the haunting
She
stills
she looked more like the little
at the
girl.
Homeless Children's Playtime Project.
Uh, I
I just
will
hope and
rejoice
pray every day that she comes
and
back
be
home
glad
safe
in
from
it.
everything. Help us find our
Baby, when she
missing.
come back, she would not be the same little girl that left. I have never joined the channel until I was looking for your Cash App. It's not pinned at the top. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This stuff like this pisses me off. It pisses me off. When she was dancing, it's not moving now. I'm trying to catch it at an angle. She looked more like the little girl behind
Get it, little
little mama.
mama.
It's still grainy, but I'm trying to catch it. Where you can see more resemblance of the little girl down here.
We know her mostly from a grainy video her parents posted to Facebook.
It's definitely grainy.
Get it. Get it. Go.
And from the haunting stills snapped by volunteers at the Homeless Children's Playtime Project.
I just hope and pray every day that she
And
comes
be
back home
glad
safe from
in it.
everything.
Help us find our missing.
We know Relisha hated living in the shelter, and we know the city worried about her well-being at home for years. Workers at Relisha's old school say she sometimes turned up in filthy clothes, dirty hair, and an empty stomach.
She had a mouth on her, but not too of a mouth.
Her mother speaks of her in the past tense.
And her smiles, her giggles, her laughter.
That was Bruce LeShan. Now, we're going to talk about the person who most folks say should have been protecting Relisha the most, her mom. Tamika Young has not
That's who
agreed to do a
failed
lot
her.
of media interviews.
In fact, she showed up to her sister's house where I was doing an interview with her mom, Melissa, late Monday night. We didn't even know she was coming, and you can see in this video, it was crowded inside the small apartment with 4 children, 3 running around in diapers. And it was apparent. It was an emotional reunion for Shamika, her mom and sister, who had not seen each other in a while. I want to make it clear there are many questions Shamika would not answer on camera. She knows she's under a
Why?
cloud of suspicion. The U.S. attorney is investigating whether she misled police. Now, off camera, she told us she did not sell her daughter. And when it comes to why in the world she would let a man repeatedly
Yeah,
take
you sold her, baby. I'm sorry. That's what it's feeling like to me. And so why you not answering no questions? And why you still having babies? I mean, you couldn't take
Has
care of the
not
3 or 4
agreed to do a
you
lot of
already
these
had.
interviews.
In fact, she showed up to her sister.
Take this down. Why are you still having more babies?
House where I was doing an interview with her mom, Melissa, late Monday night. We didn't even know she was coming. And you can see in this video, it was crowded inside this small apartment with 4 children, 3 running around in diapers. And it was apparent. It was an emotional reunion for Shamika, her mom and sister, who had not seen each other in a while. I want to make it clear there are many questions Shamika would not answer on camera. She knows she's under a cloud of suspicion. The U.S. attorney is investigating whether she misled police. Now, off camera, she told us she did not sell her daughter. And when it comes to why in the world she would let a man repeatedly take her daughter for days at a time, she told me she wouldn't answer any questions about Khalil Tatum. We're asking the question, who failed Relisha? Who do you think failed Relisha?
So you protecting a
The
predator?
government could have did.
The government?
Repeatedly take her daughter for days at a time. She told me she wouldn't answer any questions about Khalil Tatum.
Y'all, please double tap the face of the screen. Please double tap. If you're listening in on your phone device, the device that you're holding, just double tap the face of the phone. Tap it. Say thank you. She crazy. Just double tap with anything. Guilty conscious. I agree. If you're on your computer, there are 3 dots at the top right corner. If you can hit those 3 dots, it'll take you to the like button. Again, thank you for the membership. Please grab you one. My Cash App has been pinned, and Janet is posting it. And we appreciate all the support and the donations and the memberships and liking and sharing it. We just appreciate it all greatly. But I need to get the likes up so I can continue. Just double tap or hit the 3 dots at the top right corner. Yes, she guilty. She sold a child. I mean, if they saw him walk in with some black bags, but it sounded like he went in a swimming suit. When did the baby go swimming? I mean, I need all of that. I need that. I need that. I need that. Who was in the room? Who walked out?
People are asking the question, who failed Relisha? Who do you think failed Relisha?
Honestly, I think it's more that the government could have did. I think the school failed it too.
Why is that?
Because if they would have came out with a name from the start, something could have been done from the start.
If they would have what? I'm sorry.
Came out with the name of a doctor, something could have been started. Instead of them approaching my significant other as, tell Miss Young her doctor's called and she's clear, he could have approached it another way, but he didn't.
The doctors.
Young blames everyone but herself and Khalil Tatum, the man police
The government.
her little girl Relisha. Did she ever stay with me?
The government. The doctors. Oh. See, this is why I don't like doing these type of reactions and videos and stuff, because, you know, it don't make sense. And it got to make sense to me. What is she talking about? What part is being left out? What is the government? It's everybody's fault except yourself. Why did you keep having babies that you couldn't afford to take care of? That's the government fault too. They should have came out with a name. I mean, the name for what? Why did you trust a man with your daughter? What's the name of that? That's called you sold your child. And you don't want to talk about the predator. That's why I cannot stand the rug. The first betrayal typically is the parent. You betrayed your child. You betrayed her. You put her in harm's way. Your bad choices. Yours. And you took a little change and you did something strange and it would happen to be your daughter. You let her go with a predator. Bottom line, you need your ass whooped. And you need to be in jail as well. You know she's still alive. There's a possibility, or you know she's not. So where is she? This is why I can't stand when people don't take ownership. Blame everybody but your fucking self. You sold her to a ring. And he was a recruiter. And he tampered with your child. Could she even swim? Why would you be letting her go to a swim party? With who? With who? Ah. Hey, Denise. Hey. Thank you for the Sundays. This right here, man. This thing is
Of the
just
doctor, something could have been started. Instead of them approaching.
the doctor, your significant other. So you had a dude, you had a significant other. You had a significant other.
Because if they would have came out with a name from the start, something could have been done from the start.
A name for what? How would they know a name of who you let your child with? Yeah, oh girl, you should have did your own due diligence before you let your child go with some people that you didn't know. You crazy as hell. School to 20 some years old. I be like, are you gonna wear? Okay, you know these people out of town. Oh, I need to see what these people look like. Something happens, something pop out. I don't work. I need to send me a text with the address. I need to see the surroundings. I don't care how old you gonna have to be real grown. You know, for me, because 19, 20, all that shit is still a kid to me. That's still a kid. There's a whole new world out there. Yeah, I need all of that. I need to see them. Can you FaceTime me? I need to see them, and they need to see what they people are getting involved in. They don't know me either, and I don't know them, respectfully. But I need to see these people, because if some shit pop off, I need to know who I'm looking for. You understand? I need to know where I'm going. I need to know the address where you were supposed to be. Who these people? Yeah, fuck that. That's just me. Maybe I'm too overly protective, but I need to know, because if I'm finna go on a fucking manhunt, I need to know who I'm finna hunt down. And maybe that's the hood in me. Maybe that's the gank in me. I don't know, but I need to know. I need to know. Shit.
If they would have what? I'm sorry. Came out with the name of a doctor, something could have been started. Instead of them approaching my significant other as tell Miss Young her doctor's called and she's clear. He could have approached it another way, but he didn't.
Relisha's mother, Shamika Young, blames
Girl,
everyone
I
but
oh
herself and Khalil Tatum, the man police say
oh.
abducted her little girl, Relisha. Did she ever stay with Mr. Tatum at his house?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know
Do you
of.
blame him at all in this?
I choose not to answer those questions.
You choose not to answer that.
I'm probably angry with everybody, the world, media.
I choose not to answer if I blame him. Did listen, y'all. Listen, listen, Lord. This is not. She was probably a crackhead. Oh wow. Grandmother went on Dr. Phil's show. The mama refused to take a lie detector test. She guilty. Dr. Phil here, he part of that. Lord, let me stop. Oh my God.
Tatum, the man police say abducted her little girl, Relisha. Did she ever stay with Mr. Tatum at his house?
Not that I know of.
Do you blame him at all in this?
I choose not to answer those questions.
Are you angry with Mr. Tatum?
I choose not to answer those type of questions.
Ever stay with Mr. Tatum at his house?
Not that I know of.
Do you blame him at all in this?
I choose not to answer those questions.
Are you angry with Mr. Tatum?
I'm probably angry with everybody, the world, media, everybody.
Why are you angry with the media?
They just switches my words up. They don't let me be heard. They don't let my voice be heard out there.
What do you want to say?
Honestly, I don't know what I want to say because I have so many mixed thoughts in my head. So I don't know what I want to say at this time.
It's not
But you want to blame the
but
media.
social media that's questioned Young about why she allegedly lied to investigators, potentially delaying the search for her daughter.
Thank you.
She denies she lied and tried to explain to me why she
Thank
hasn't
you.
been at any of her daughter's vigils.
For the cash app.
I did want to support the walk and pray thing for my daughter, not once but twice, but I couldn't due to all the threats.
What kind of threats are you getting?
I was getting all types of threats. People saying they was gonna kill me, shoot me.
Is she still
What
alive?
they gonna do to me, and what they not gonna do to me.
Are you in hiding now?
No, not hiding. I don't have nothing to hide from.
Okay, so you ain't scared.
People who say they want to kill you?
I ain't even got to hide from them.
Yeah.
These streets alone.
While Shamika couldn't remember
Yeah,
the
so you
actual
ain't
date she
scared?
last saw Relisha,
Not hiding. I don't have nothing to hide from.
well, from people who say they want to kill you?
I ain't even got to hide from them. So I walk these streets alone.
While Shamika couldn't remember the actual date she last saw Relisha, she remembers where it was.
So over here at my sister's house, I did her hair. Bought her some shoes, some Jordan flights, some 2013 Jordan flights.
And she revealed to me for the first time that her daughter often spent time away from the shelter with other family members, where she said Tatum would pick up Relisha.
She didn't go missing from the shelter. It is a rule in the shelter that kids are not allowed to enter nor exit the facility without their parents. And I feel as though I should put that out.
Do you think Relisha's alive?
Yeah,
Why do you think that?
I always have strong hopes. You can't never let your hopes down. And God don't play with babies and food.
If she is alive, where do you think she could be?
I don't know.
And I want to add as well that she told me, as well as her mom and sister, that police told them they should get a lawyer very soon.
Well, as we mentioned to you earlier tonight, sadly, the Relisha Rudd story is far from unique. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says tens of thousands of kids have been taken by non-family members. Here are a few more of their photos.
Many of you are asking a lot of questions online at WUSA9.com, and we're going to stay online with you for the next half hour to discuss your comments and questions.
Stay with us. We'll see you on the internet.
This is where I talk about what I liked in my first box. If I hadn't already been using them since the beginning of the year. Cook you cry.
What do you believe happened to your daughter?
When I called a family member up, she didn't make it to
Y'all, are we
I'd
ready
like
for
to-
the cry over your daughter? You didn't cry over your daughter. Y'all, please get the likes up. Double tap. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here go another. Too hard to have any. Oh wow, you ain't cried. Hell, I done almost cried watching this mess. And you mean to tell me you ain't cried?
cry.
What do you believe happened to your daughter?
When I called a family member up,
And
Not
she
taking a lie
refused to take the
detector
test.
It's people took to social media.
Wow. Mother cried or not, I don't know, but she passed her lie detector's test. I don't know. But she came and she passed her lie detector's test. So you can get off the grandmother. You can get off of her. Grandmother didn't birth her. And she took the test. See, you know, we put focus on the wrong people sometimes. Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about, I ain't see. The mother should, every time she get in front of a damn screen or say something, tears need to be rolling down her damn face. Period. She all up in the man face talking about, oh yeah, you see me cry. Yeah, you cried over him. You may have cried over the dude, but have you cried over your daughter? That you didn't know that they had surveillance of her walking down a hotel room with a man. But how did he leave without the little girl? Where is that surveillance? Why are those questions not being asked or were not asked? And if he dead and gone, hell, you can show us. We can talk. Y'all should have been talking about this. Yeah, no. No. This girl right here would make me want to cuss her out. I ain't lying. I'm a strong individual. What? So? What? You weren't strong enough to protect your daughter. You weren't strong enough to stop fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry having kids that you couldn't afford. You ain't that strong. You weak. You weak. You weak for what you cry for. You cry for dudes. You don't cry for your kids, though. You understand? Yeah, you weak. You pitiful.
Legal cannabis. It's real flower. The kids here are real healthy.
Girl.
Oh, who gives you such a good eye? To put my whistling uncle at it.
before I had
Oh,
any
I
commitment.
am so. You think, Twin Flames, you think your family knew? You say you're a survivor of being trafficked, and you know for dang sure your family knew. Lord have mercy. I am so. I don't even want to say sorry you went through that. I empathize with just imagining what you went through. I thank God that you survived, and I am praying that you are healing or have healed. This is it's just mind blowing. And for you to say that you know your family knew. What's chit chat? That should have been children, not chit chat. I don't understand that. I know they knew. One of the reasons I have no contact with. Wow. It's hard to imagine, but you know, you just, Lord. I absolutely am praying that you get some healing if you haven't already. And do you think a family member trafficked you, lured you? Oh man, oh wow. This is devastating to me. And I can't even imagine this woman not dropping tears talking about her daughter. There's no way you can make me believe that this was just sprung up on her and she didn't know and you cannot drop a tear. I mean, that's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable for me. She, I'm sorry, and Lord in heaven knows I may be wrong, but if you protect the predator, that means that you were in cahoots with the predator. If I'm wrong, Lord, please forgive me. But that is just how I feel. Why would you protect the predator? Why? 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 You more mad at him than you were with the guy that you saw walking down the hallway with. Oh man, oh my God, oh my God. This lady right here makes me want to punch her in her eye. I ain't lying, Lord. I ain't lying. She made me want to pop that eye. She made me want to pop her.
I don't get it. What you?
She more mad at him. Cause he stopped fucking with you. And I'ma tell you, you better not drop out now tear. Since this man done popped up here, you better not drop not one tear. You have more emotion and passion for this nigga here than you do when it comes to talking about your daughter. Girl, you better not drop a tear. I Girl, oh, oh Lord.
Name.com has everything you need to get online quickly for a low monthly price. We've been a customer of Name.com for over 20
Now is the fact that it's actually happening.
Wow. Oh my God. Twin flames. I am so sorry. Oh, y'all. Oh my God. She sounds like my mother. She's mad at him for pointing out the truth. Just like most people, most women would side with the predators. That is so true. Instead of with the child. That is so true. That is so true. Twin flames. That is so true. Y'all.
Is here VCC. Let's
Y'all,
bring him out.
let me
I don't get it with you.
let me step away for a minute. Y'all get the lights up. Let me get some water. This is heartbreaking to me. Let me let it play.
Cause you don't so mad.
Turning your great idea into a business starts with the perfect domain name. Go to Wix Domains and take the first step.
As a director of finance, I'm managing 15 to 20 contracts a month. With Acrobat AI Assistant, I can summarize long contracts and identify key terms instantly. AI Assistant helps me compare two different versions of the same document for key changes. It makes me feel very confident that nothing's missing and everything's accurate. With AI Assistant, we're able to focus on what really matters: growing our business and finding new ways to reach soccer fans.
I'm sorry, y'all. What y'all think?
I remember seeing this child
walking with this man down a dark hallway at a motel. And that was the last sighting of her. I remember seeing this child walking with this man down a dark hallway at a motel. And that was the last sighting of her. Next thing I know, police cars pull up. She says, Relisha Rudd, your granddaughter is missing. Missing? My granddaughter ain't missing. My granddaughter's supposed to be with him. Social worker came down to the shelter looking for a Dr. Tatum. Like, he a doctor? We know that 1 in every 3 children that go missing, they're solicited for sex. I firmly believe that Relisha was a victim of trafficking, and I believe Tatum was the recruiter.
Oh, well, there we go.
If you're white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, the world wants to jump in and help for missing women and young girls of color.
Sherrod, your granddaughter is missing. I'm like, no, she's not missing. My granddaughter ain't missing. My granddaughter's supposed to be with him. Social worker came down to the shelter looking for a Dr. Tatum. Like, he a doctor? We know that 1 in every 3 children that go missing, they're solicited for sex. I firmly believe that Relisha was a victim of trafficking, and I believe Tatum was the recruiter.
If you're white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, the world wants to jump in and help for missing women and young girls of color, even men. Their cases are not taken seriously.
It takes all of us to help bring our missing home. It wasn't a good situation that they were in.
This is the untold story.
All of us to help bring our missing home. It wasn't a good situation that they were in, the family shelter. It wasn't a good situation. Molded food and, those sorts of things.
Molded food.
Even the campus, for God's sake, most of those children looked out the window and saw the DC jail. A prison right across the parking lot. So it really was not a good place.
The bathrooms was nasty. They didn't provide shower shoes, but when I started complaining about we need a bathroom in our room, we'd take a wash up at the sink. It was that bad on the floor in the bathroom. It was black mold coming up. And I remember when I went in there and took a shower, and a couple of days later, I had to go to the doctor because I had some shit on my foot from the shower. So I went into the store and got all my kids swim shoes, shower shoes.
DC General is also where Relisha and her family.
For God's sake, most of those children looked out the window and saw the DC jail. A prison right across the parking lot. So it really was not a good place.
The bathrooms was nasty. They didn't provide shower shoes, but when I started complaining about we need a bathroom in our room, we'd take a wash up at the sink. It was that bad on the floor in the bathroom. It was black mold coming up. And I remember when I went in there and took a shower, and a couple of days later, I had to go to the doctor because I had some shit on my foot from the shower. So I went into the store and got all my kids swim shoes, shower shoes.
DC General is also where Relisha and her family first came in contact with Khalil Tatum.
It was closed in 2018.
Khalil was a janitor at DC General. And he had this habit. People say that he would, give kids gifts, like give them money. And there was a no fraternization policy, so it wasn't supposed to happen. But he befriended Shamika and her family, and that's how Relisha ended up, give kids gifts, give them money. And there was a no fraternization policy, so it wasn't supposed to happen.
She stole a child for money.
But he befriended. Khalil was a janitor at DC General, and he had this habit. People say that he would, give kids gifts, like give them money, and there was a no fraternization policy, so it wasn't supposed to happen. But he befriended Shamika and her family, and that's how Relisha ended up spending a lot of time with him and his wife.
There are so many stories of them saying, oh yeah, he offered stuff to my kid, he offered stuff to my kid. And in most cases, their sharp parental instincts sort of tip them off like, this isn't right, I'm not going to accept an aquarium and fish from the janitor. That doesn't make sense. Why is this man trying to give gifts to my daughter? In most cases that happened, but then in retrospect it makes everything make more sense because Shamika was a higher need parent who was experiencing a lot of barriers that made her, in retrospect, kind of the perfect target because she wasn't able to think as sharply as some of the other parents because she had a lot of extra challenges that were well documented.
He was a chameleon. He was quiet. He talked to certain people, stayed to himself. He also had a little creepy vibe that I never liked it. So I had to tell Shamika that, but she overlooked it. I would send money through Western Union and send it in her name so she can cash it. And she would use the money, but people would come back and tell me she'll just smoke it all up, waste it on stupid stuff. So I stopped sending her money. So that's why I think she ended up getting closer to Khalil because he started giving her money.
Every time they would question my daughter would be like, oh, she's with her godfather. She's with her godfather. Then it went from being her godfather to being a doctor.
It was the only thing on everybody's mind. And thinking that this man who allegedly was involved in her disappearance had keys to everybody's room. It was like literally a nightmare.
They didn't do their job right. She stayed in the government facility, which was DC General Shelter. Once y'all realized something was wrong, y'all was supposed to be calling the shelter.
One of the more upsetting aspects of this tragedy is that the government of the District of Columbia at the time completely abdicated responsibility.
You know, but they were saying some of the social workers was
and if we don't do everything that we can to learn from those 26 gaps in the safety net that were identified in the Relisha Red report, even though the government then concluded there was nothing they could have done to prevent her from going missing, like then her life is in vain and we truly don't believe her life matters.
That report really pissed me off. The report pissed me off because it was still unfounded.
Yeah, Queen, it's a whole ring. It's a whole ring.
We all know that numerous entities, agencies, failed her. And for the report to be inconclusive and unfounded, it really pissed me off. It really did. Because someone or some agency should have been held responsible.
I am the publicist for hundreds of thousands of people of color who are missing. They're turned away by the very entities that are sworn to protect them. And we can't do them like that. Of thousands of people of color who are missing. They're turned away by the very entities that are sworn to protect them. And we can't do them like that.
It takes all of us. It's law enforcement, it's the media, and it's the community to help bring our missing home.
If you're white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, the world wants to jump in and help. And for missing women and young girls of color, even men, their cases are not taken seriously.
I was watching the news. Channel 4 News came across, stated they found his wife's body. In a hotel room, she had been shot in the head and she was dead.
And then it seemed like all chaos broke loose because it seemed then Mr. Tatum knew that the police were now looking for him.
So we were out there when Tatum's body was found at the park in D.C. When I think back to that day and everything surrounding Relisha's disappearance and how...
Because it seemed then Mr. Tatum knew that the police were now looking for him.
So we were out there when Tatum's body was found at the park in D.C. And when I think back to that day and everything surrounding Relisha's disappearance and how that park was secured with law enforcement, and they had already searched that park before we even came out there, and his body was found. In the manner in which his body was found, I'm always going to be law enforcement, and I feel that he was placed there. I don't believe he killed himself. I just don't. It's my conspiracy theory, but I don't believe in the manner in which his body was found. I'm always going to be law enforcement, and I feel that he was placed there. I don't believe he killed himself. I just don't. It's my conspiracy theory, but I don't believe Tatum killed himself. I don't think Tatum killed his wife. Does she know about it? I believe she knew something.
Khalil was so desperate after he sort of found out. He kills his wife. He kills
Finds
himself.
out what?
And took the secrets of what...
Finds out what? What did he find out? Find out what?
I believe she knew something.
Found out what?
Khalil was so desperate after he sort of found out. He kills his wife. He kills himself and took the secrets of what happened to Relisha to the grave. And to me, I just want to wake him back up and kill him all over again. Because it's like, how could you do this to this family? How
What
could
did
you
he
do
find
this to
out?
all of us? How could you do this to Relisha, you coward?
What did he find out? If he was the predator, he already knew. So what was it for him to find out?
Khalil was so desperate after he sort of found out. He kills his wife. He kills himself and took the secrets of what happened to Relisha to the grave. And to me, I just want to wake him back up and kill him all over again. Because it's like, how could you do this to this family? How could you do this to all of us? How could you do this to Relisha, you coward?
She used to visit me in my dreams a lot. She don't visit me no more, so that's why I say the part of me is telling me she's no longer with us. That she's finally resting at peace.
Yeah, I didn't rescue
just waiting, you know, for us to find her.
We looking for her. We're not gonna stop till she back home. You know, she got brothers who still talk about her, who miss her. You know, she got a whole city, the whole world want her back home. So we just looking for her. You never giving up.
We don't want the community to forget Relisha. We can't forget her. We have to continue to utilize our media platforms and social media platforms to keep her case in the forefront.
I think part of me will never let go of hope of, like, you know, maybe she's somewhere out there, and like living a happy life and being a normal teenager. Even though I know the likelihood of that is not high, I do still hold that hope, and I also hold that hope that because of her story, we won't have more Relishas.
How many more Relishas are there from this shelter? We don't know. But we will never, ever stop searching for her. Never would we stop. We hope to bring her home.
I know that there's been a lot of speculation regarding, if Relisha is still alive or not. And I feel that she is. I feel that she is out there somewhere waiting for us to find her.
Yeah,
someone knows something. And we hope that someone would be brave enough to come forward with information.
Until someone comes back with evidence that supports that Relisha is no longer here, I just feel in my heart that she's still out there.
Baby girl has been trafficked. No, that wasn't his wife. Oh, you talking? What wife? Him and his wife knew too. Who you talking about? The predator? Her mama and her stepdad. Yeah, no, I think they was killed too. It's just so familiar. So familiar. It says to report a tip about a missing person or to report your loved one missing, please visit BAMFI.org or call 1-877-97-2634. Lord, if she is still alive, protect her and bring her home. Bring her to a safe environment. Safe environment, Lord. And expose the predators, if she's still alive, who is still victimizing her.
Or is it likely that this information is going to stay behind doors there with the...
I lost $50,000 because I didn't buy a domain name. My advice, head to Wix and grab your...
The DOJ says that it has uncovered potentially over 1 million more Epstein-related files. And so the Justice Department released this information on Wednesday, and this was potentially found by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and the FBI, and they are currently reviewing them for release. And so, of course, we've been following this as the DOJ has since released thousands of new documents from the Epstein files, yet earlier this week on Tuesday as well. And so to talk a little bit more about what we're seeing here with this potential new batch of files that the DOJ is going to be investigating, I want to bring into the conversation legal analyst Nima Rahmani. Nima, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks, Evan.
And so, Nima, I have to first ask you here, when it comes to the Epstein files and the DOJ now saying they potentially have 1 million more files that need to be released, does this surprise you at any point? What does this all mean now that they've said this?
Christina, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but this is another continued embarrassment for the Department of Justice. We are now 1 week removed from the December 19th deadline for the DOJ to produce the Epstein files, and obviously they have not met that deadline, at least in full. Now they're saying there's another 1 million documents that have yet to be reviewed. Let's not forget that Attorney General Pam Bondi earlier this year said that the Epstein files were sitting on her desk just waiting review. She promised to make them public well before the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Well, it seems like she didn't even have a full sense of the Epstein files because I doubt she had 1 million documents sitting on her desk. And we're talking about the Southern District of New York. These are the career prosecutors who prosecuted Epstein the second time in 2019. So of course they would have more documents. It's really shocking how disorganized and frankly late the DOJ has been, and they continue to, whether it's in terms of the redactions or delays or withholding documents outright, fail to follow the law. So it's very disappointing that those that are tasked to enforce the law can't even follow the law. I hope they can get their act together soon in the coming weeks.
And Nima, as we're talking about, I want to put up that statement that the Justice Department actually put out on their own X account talking about this, saying the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York and the FBI have informed the Department of Justice that they have uncovered over 1 million more documents potentially related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. The DOJ has received these documents from the Southern District of New York and the FBI to review them for release and compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, existing statutes, and judicial orders. We have lawyers who are working around the clock to review and make the legally required redactions to protect those victims, and we will release the documents as soon as possible. Due to the mass volume of material, this process may take a few more weeks. The department will continue to fully comply with federal law and President Trump's direction to release the files. Nima, I have to ask you because it is interesting. You mentioned it. It was that deadline 1 week ago that the Epstein files were supposed to be released underneath the Epstein Transparency Act that President Trump signed. Is it not interesting that this comes about after that they say they found these 1 million more documents? Will we be able to know any true timeline of when they were discovered, or is it likely that this information is going to stay behind doors there with the Justice Department?
I don't think we'll know. And for folks that don't understand, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, it is part of the Department of Justice. Those are Department of Justice prosecutors. And if you're looking at where the Epstein files exist, you'd look to New York, you'd look to Miami. Those are the U.S. Attorney's Office that prosecuted Epstein. So the fact that you now have 1 million documents that had previously been unaccounted for, it leads me to believe that this search was not done in a timely manner, and those that conducted the search really did not do their job, because this should have been done weeks ago. Now you're stuck in a situation where the DOJ is further embarrassed. Some people will believe it's a cover-up. All of this delay, it just adds fuel to the fire. To those that are watching and who are on social media believe that this is all a cover-up to protect billionaires and politicians. So now you have this embarrassing situation where career prosecutors at the DOJ are being asked to work over the holidays to try to do these redactions and review these documents that frankly should have been done weeks ago, maybe even months ago, when the Department of Justice, Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, they promised to make the Epstein files public well before the Epstein Files Transparency Act. So this should have already been done. Now you have further delays, you have more documents, you have redactions, pages, hundreds of pages that are redacted entirely. One other important deadline that we really should be talking about, Christina, is going to be in early January. That is when the DOJ is supposed to provide a log of any documents that are withheld or redacted. That will allow House Democrats to potentially challenge those redactions by filing a lawsuit in court, and a judge may have to sort through this to say, hey, are these redactions all warranted? Because if you look at the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there are only three categories of documents that can be redacted or withheld. Those are documents identifying victims of sex abuse, any documents showing sex abuse, that would essentially be child pornography, and anything related to an ongoing investigation. And we know that the DOJ issued a memo this summer in July saying there's no legal basis to charge any third parties related to the Epstein files. So I hope the DOJ isn't withholding documents on that basis, although Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche did say the DOJ was going to assert privilege last weekend. That would be very disappointing if true.
Get weight loss treatment through hers
Who
for
is the
one
little
affordable
girl?
upfront price. That means a personalized weight loss plan, access to 24.
And Nima, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was my next question. Where do we go from here with the files that have been released? Those heavy redactions have been a conversation not only on social media, but also happening in other forms as well. Many journalists have been critical of this as well. But when it comes to that, and you said there's a date that's going to be happening in January, they can kind of challenge that. I was wondering if we were going to have to wait if there was going to be another administration to go back through. Are some of these things sort of, is there another path, I should say, to figure out what's in some of the files that haven't been released?
There is a path, and that would be to file a lawsuit to compel the full production. And then what would happen is a federal judge, a district judge, would have to sort through these redactions himself or herself, or appoint a special master to do so. That's how you challenge redactions, because obviously we don't know what we don't know. But a judge can review the files in camera. That's a Latin term. That means outside the presence of the parties and the public to determine whether these redactions are warranted. I could tell you, Christina, I think they are excessive, and this is why. There's at least two categories of information that I've seen that appear to be redacted that shouldn't be redacted. The first is grand jury materials, and the judges that have considered this issue have ruled that the Epstein Files Transparency Act trumps, no pun intended, any secrecy that grand jury materials typically have under the rules of criminal procedure. Those materials should not be redacted. The other thing I see is the names of assistant U.S. attorneys, federal prosecutors, those names are being redacted. Again, there's not a legal basis to do so unless they are a victim of sex abuse, which is highly unlikely. Again, these redactions seem excessive. They seem outside of those three categories that I've talked about: victims, child pornography, and ongoing investigations, which I don't think there are any. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point a lawsuit is filed and a judge reviews these redactions and determines that they are excessive and unwarranted.
And Nima, speaking of some of those redactions and lawsuits that could potentially be filed, we do know that the Democratic rep, Ro Khanna of California, says that he and the Republican rep, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, are going to be bringing charges of inherent contempt of Congress against Attorney General Pam Bondi. The two congressmen made that, of course, they were the one who sponsored the bill on the Epstein files, and they were also talking about potentially making this a larger thing against Attorney General Bondi. I have to ask you, what does that ultimately mean? And charges of inherent contempt of Congress, what potentially does that going to do for Attorney General Pam Bondi?
Roe's one of the best. I know him personally. He's a lawyer as well, and that's certainly one route that he can go to. That's the political route. I think the challenge with contempt of Congress is typically those contempt orders, they are enforced by the Department of Justice. So there's not a whole lot that's going to happen. Obviously, it'll be a big deal politically. Folks are talking about potential articles of impeachment against Bondi. We'll see if that happens as well. I really do think, though, Christina, the better route, the more effective route would be a lawsuit, because then you have the judiciary. And when you're talking about the judiciary, Article 3, their job really, in many ways, is to deal with disputes between the legislature, Article 1, and the executive, Article 2. That's what we're dealing with here. The important thing about involving a judge is the judge can also rule on these redactions, determine whether they are legal and appropriate or not. That's not something that can happen through contempt or impeachment proceedings. If this is an issue of public trust and transparency, the American people, members of the media, we deserve the full Epstein files. That was what was promised to us by Donald Trump when he was candidate, when Attorney General Bondi was appointed, same with the director of the FBI. Those promises have not been fulfilled. So this is an issue of public trust. This is an issue of transparency. And I believe that a judge needs to get involved to compel the Department of Justice to do their job and follow the law. I think that type of order will be more effective than a contempt of Congress order, in my humble opinion.
It is something that we're going to continue to watch, and we've been putting up some of that reaction as well from the two congressmen. And Thomas Massie says that today the DOJ claims the Epstein-Maxwell file exceeds 1.7 million documents, and they still expect you to believe that this only involves two guilty people. I'm glad that he ended up and he brought up Maxwell in all of this, because Ghislaine Maxwell, she is a longtime friend. She was a colleague and an ex-girlfriend of Epstein. And we do know that she's currently behind bars for her relation and what she had done as a part of the Epstein whole situation. But I have to ask you, with Ghislaine, there's been a lot of nude attention to her as these files are being released. Do you think that as the files are released that more charges could potentially be brought against her?
Welcome to Alteryx One, a self-service analytics platform that makes it easy to automate
I think it's unlikely because she's already doing 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking now. Obviously, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche did interview her personally. She was moved to a lower security prison. Now the question is, was that a favor to her? Was that something that was just done by the Department of the Bureau of Prisons and had nothing to do with her interview with the Deputy Attorney General or the fact that she has continued to assert her innocence and say that there was no sex trafficking at all? She certainly hasn't named names. That's really the surprising thing to me about Ghislaine Maxwell, Christina. I could tell you that having put more than 1,000 people in federal prison, I can only count on 2 fingers the number of individuals I was unable to flip to cooperate. So the fact that Maxwell's likely going to die in federal prison and hasn't named names is certainly surprising. That's someone I would want to lean on to identify the other rich and powerful men that abused young girls with Jeffrey Epstein. I think that's what people want to know. So is she getting a free pass? Or is she someone who's just being unreasonable? Because I can tell you, I don't believe for a second.
Leave her ass, take her back to the other prison.
That she's actually innocent and she had no idea what was going on. And she wasn't recruiting and grooming these young girls for Jeffrey Epstein.
And so those Epstein files will continue to come out according to the Department of Justice, but they did make that claim that there are over 1 million more potentially related to Epstein that have not yet been gone through. Nima, any final thoughts before I let you go? This, of course, is a story that continues to unfold layer by layer.
I think it's important that members of the public, the media, Representatives Khanna and Massey continue to put pressure on the Department of Justice to do what they promised and to follow the law. This is really a rare moment of bipartisanship in Washington, D.C. right now, where Republicans and Democrats all agree that the Epstein files should be made public, that those who abused young girls should be held accountable. It's sad that Epstein got that sweetheart deal by Alex Acosta when he was U.S. Attorney in Miami. He never really faced the criminal justice that he deserved, or certainly to the extent that anyone else would have received. And this is just part and parcel of the belief that many people have that the rich and powerful in this country get a free pass. So hopefully everyone who abused young girls with Jeffrey Epstein is brought to justice. And I really commend Congress for not giving up and forcing this issue.
Yeah, before I go, let me hear this.
Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Kimmel. Something happened this week that nobody saw coming. A survivor came forward with a letter, and what she revealed has completely destroyed Trump's transparency narrative. Before we get into this, subscribe to Kimmel in Focus right now, just you, because what we're about to uncover isn't being properly reported anywhere else. Here's what you think happened. Trump signed a law releasing Epstein files, documents came out, some controversy erupted, everyone moved on. That's the story, you know, right? Wrong. What actually unfolded is far more explosive than anyone expected, and it started with one survivor's devastating letter that went viral instantly, December 19th. That's when the Department of Justice was required to release everything, all documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, photos, flight logs, FBI records, investigative files, communications, everything. The Epstein Files Transparency Act passed with overwhelming support. House voted 427-1. Senate passed it unanimously. Trump signed it November 19th, 2025. The law was crystal clear. Release all unclassified materials within 30 days. Redact only national security information and victim identities. Nothing else. So what did we get? Thousands of pages so heavily redacted they're unreadable. Entire sections blacked out, names erased everywhere, key details completely gone. But here's the shocking part. Within 24 hours, at least 16 files disappeared from the D0J website. Gone. No explanation. One of those files, a photograph showing Ghislaine Maxwell. It was posted briefly, then yanked down. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said they removed files to protect victims. That's the official story. But then something happened that exposed that narrative as complete lies. A survivor who reported Epstein to the FBI in 2009 discovered her full name in multiple public documents. Not redacted, not protected. Fully visible for anyone to search and find. Think about that. The DOJ released documents with a survivor's actual identity exposed, her real name, right there in files millions can access. Now, here's the truly insane part. That same survivor has been requesting her own FBI file for months, her own file about her own case. The Department of Justice keeps telling her they need more time. We're reviewing it carefully. We have to protect your privacy. We must ensure nothing sensitive gets released that could identify you. So let me understand this. The government won't give this survivor her own records because they're protecting her privacy, but they published her name in documents available to the entire world. Does that make any sense? Because it sounds like they're protecting someone else entirely. This survivor wrote a formal letter to the DOJ, and she didn't hold back. She called the release irrational and reckless. She said it violated federal victim protection laws. She accused the DOJ of prioritizing powerful names over survivor safety, and she's absolutely right about the law.
Lovely
The Epstein
life, I
Files
don't know.
Transparency Act explicitly
Oh yeah, he
requires
knows.
victim
He know what was
information to
in
be
there.
redacted before public disclosure. That's not optional.
Absolutely, he knows. Yeah. Again, who leaked these million files when they thought they had them all? Yeah, it's a lot going on. Oh man, I grabbed the wrong one because it's one of them
That's the
where
law Trump signed. But the
I'll be
Department of
back.
Justice broke that law. They exposed someone who cooperated with law enforcement, who trusted the system, and for what? To hide powerful people's names. Members of Congress are furious, and not just Democrats. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said the DOJ is explicitly breaking the law. Thomas Massey, a Republican who co-sponsored the bill, accused Justice of violating the statute. Some members are discussing holding Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt of Congress. That means potential jail time. Let's talk about what we actually received, because calling this transparency is absurd. The DOJ posted thousands of documents, but instead of a searchable database where you could find names and connections, they gave us PDFs with massive black boxes covering most text. You can't search for Trump, you can't search for Epstein, you can't search for anyone. The system wasn't designed to be functional. And look at the file numbers. They're sequential, 425, 426, then suddenly 428. Where's 427? They pulled it after it briefly appeared online. This pattern repeats constantly. Files appear, people notice, files vanish. Now the photos most show Bill Clinton with Epstein. Clinton appears repeatedly on planes, at events, multiple photographs. If Clinton was involved, that should be exposed. But here's what's interesting. Trump was Epstein's close friend for over a decade. They were photographed together constantly throughout the 1990s and 2000s. Trump called Epstein a terrific guy who likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. But in this release, Trump barely appears. And the one photo showing Trump with Epstein got immediately removed. We get tons of Clinton photos, but Trump's photos disappear. See the problem? Todd Blanche keeps saying they're protecting victims. That's his answer to everything, but survivors are calling this out. Legal advocates are calling this out. They're saying these redactions aren't protecting victims. They're protecting powerful people. Here's what makes Trump's behavior so suspicious. He fought this transparency law for months. When Congress worked on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, Trump's team opposed it at every stage. They delayed it. They lobbied against it. But pressure became unstoppable. The bill passed 427-1. The Senate passed it unanimously. So Trump pivoted. He signed the bill and pretended he supported transparency. But look what happened. The DOJ released worthless redacted documents.
That's why we here today. We're trying to figure out who the little girl
got
is.
exposed while powerful names stayed hidden, and Trump
The whole
went
file
silent,
was redacted.
completely
Yeah,
silent.
I'll be
Trump
back.
usually dominates.
Let me do some more research. I'll be back. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Who is the little girl? Not only it was removed from the Epstein files. You understand? Yeah, I'll be back.